Okay. I'm going to record tonight to my computer so that I can share it with you from YouTube, because then you'll have the class to go back to and I won't take it down. Hi, Jane. You can hear us now.
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi, welcome. Finally, yay. Yeah. So Jane's here, and Jane did the course before, but she didn't finish all of it because of a very busy life. And so she's back in. Yeah, you made it. You're here. Super.
Yay.
Very welcome. And I know Veronica's going to be logging on shortly as well. So yeah, I think we just get cracking
Oh, sorry.
into the class. I'm going to put you all on mute for the class, just because sometimes the background noise and stuff can disturb. And we'll get stuck in. So we're going to start with our nice centering meditation. If you're not in a comfortable position, and Cleve, if you're driving now, turn this off. Mute me. Find a nice comfortable position that you can sit up nice and tall. Find the sit bones in underneath you. To have your feet on the ground, or if not on the ground, have a cushion or something to bring the ground up to you. The legs and arms are uncrossed for now. And then we're going to take a moment and bring the hands into a mudra tonight. So we're going to bring the thumb to the index finger, and then just place the hands down, resting on the thighs. Take a moment to squeeze the shoulders up to the ears, and then slow release them all the way down as you exhale. Settling in. Taking a moment to scan the body now and see, am I comfortable, or is there any small movement I can do to let myself feel more supported here? And then when you've done that, checking, is there any small movement I could do to give myself more space in my front and back body? So tall and lovely, tall and relaxed. And then once we've come into that position, we can either gently close the eyes if they're not already closed, or have that soft gaze down towards the tip of the nose. We're just going to commit to stillness for the next few minutes. And now we're going to take our time to move into the body. And starting today from the feet and the toes, noticing the connection between the toes, the base of the foot, the heel of the foot, and what the foot is resting on. And see if you can give permission for the feet to be completely relaxed and at ease. Notice the right ankle and the left ankle. Notice the calves, right and left, the knees, right and left, and the thighs. Allow the thighs to feel heavy. Allow them to spread into the chair. Notice the backs of the legs resting down into the chair. Notice the sit bones. Taking a moment now to scan the back body, feeling the low back and the back of the pelvis, the mid back, the back of the rib cage, and the upper back, the space in between the shoulders, the tops of the shoulders, the right shoulder, the left shoulder, the right arm, the left arm, the right elbow, the left elbow, the lower arms, right and left, and the wrists, right wrist, left wrist, right hand, the thumb, index finger, and all the fingers on the right hand, and then the left hand, the thumb, the index finger, all the fingers on the left hand, and then releasing that awareness from the hands, moving back up through the arms to the shoulders, into the space between the shoulders once again, and then up through the back of the neck into the back of the head, top of the head, the forehead, the right eye, the left eye, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, the tip of the nose, the right ear, the left ear, and the jaw, the whole of the jaw. And then scanning gently down into the throat, soft part of the throat, into the chest and the center of the chest, the heart center, down into the navel area and the belly, and then below the navel and the low belly, the sacral area, and then down into the groin again, into the sit bones once again, back down into the chair. Feeling the whole body resting in the chair. Taking the awareness to the feet once again, the feet and the toes, the hands and the fingers, the tip of the head, the shoulders, hands and fingers, the knees, the toes, the whole of the body in the chair. And then allowing your awareness to move towards your breath. Even though we have come into this stillness and committed to stillness, there's a gentle movement of the breath as we feel it come in and go out. And for the first few moments, we're just noticing that any sensation that we get and thoughts that come as we start to draw our attention to our breath. And now we're going to start to bring a count into our breath. So as we're breathing in, we're counting as the breath comes in, 2, 3. And as we're breathing out, we're counting as the breath leaves the body. 1, 2, maybe 3. And doesn't matter how long or short the count is, but see if you can, in your own time, count your breath as it comes in. And count your breath as it leaves the body once again. And once you have established this counting the breath, starting to see if you can lengthen the exhale. So as you're breathing in, you're breathing in to 3, to maybe 3 or 4. As you're breathing out, looking to see if you can add a number and slow the exhale out. And you can continue with this and see if you can, with ease and not causing any tension or stress, but can you gently start to extend the exhale so that the exhale is double the count of the inhale. And as you're doing this, if you get distracted by thought or you're feeling tired and sleepy and you lose concentration and focus, just drawing it back to that counting of the breath. The next few moments, staying with that practice, counting the breath in and counting the breath as it leaves. Long exhale. And when you get to the end of the next breath, releasing the count and just letting the breath come back to its own natural rhythm without any controlling from you. Take a moment to just sit and feel. Just notice any thoughts that are coming or going. Maybe it's quiet and there aren't so many. And if that's the case, enjoying those pauses between the thoughts. Now, on the next breath in, see if you can use your breath to sit a little taller in your seat. And as you exhale, keeping that length in the body. And on the next breath in, I invite you to see if you can move your tummy. Breathe in and expand the navel. And as you exhale, feel the navel draw back and in and up. And the low belly, even the sacral area. So for the next couple of breaths, breathing right down into the low belly. So as we inhale, expanding. And as we exhale, contracting. And as you do that, notice that it does take a fair amount of concentration to just stay with it, but see if you can stay slow with it. And we're going to move the breath now up the body. So we're going to continue breathing to the belly, but the next time we breathe in, breathing into the rib cage as well. And as we breathe out, releasing from the belly and the rib cage. And repeating that for the next 2, 3, 4 breaths. Breathing into the belly and the rib cage. Breathing out from the belly and the rib cage. If this is easy for you, we can bring it into sections, breathing into the belly and pause, into the rib cage and pause, exhale the belly and pause, exhale the rib cage and pause. Continuing in your own time. And the next part of this pranayama is to breathe the complete yogic breath. So breathing into the belly, the rib cage and the upper chest up to the collarbones if you can, really full breath in. And exhaling from the tummy, the rib cage and the upper chest. Going at your own pace as you breathe in, expanding, lengthening, opening the front body. And as you exhale, feeling that squeeze up from the lower pelvic floor all the way up, expelling the air, contraction. Go at your own pace, breath in, big, full, round, long space in the front. Breath out, pushing down with the sit bones and feeling that contraction as the exhale leaves the body. And just doing one more. And if you're familiar with the ujjayi, you can bring that in as biggest, longest, deepest breath you can. And then again, that slow exhale all the way out and down. When you get to the end, this time just pausing at the end and letting the natural breath come back in its own time. And now letting the natural breath take over and taking a moment to, you can bring your awareness into your heart center or into your mind. And making your own intention for your meditation tonight. How would you like to feel? What would you like to get from it? If you work with your angels or spirit guides, you can invite them in if you haven't already. And we're just going to take another, say, 3-4 breaths here. I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy them in this quiet piece. And when you get to the end of the next breath, I'd invite you to gently roll your chin towards your chest. And in your own way, moving your fingers, creating a little bit of movement. You can blink the eyes open. And we're going to start to do, if everybody's okay. Elaine, can you hear us? Just give me a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, good. We're going to start with a little bit of movement meditation. So beginner's class, I'd probably stop with a shorter meditation and check in. But you guys, I kind of trying to fit a lot in and keep going. And I think you're all right. So we'll keep going. So we're going to start with a little bit of movement meditation. And we're going to start with the fingers. So just going to bring the hands out in front of us. So if you want to, you can, have the arms out really straight with the shoulders down. This is a little bit of work for the upper back, so it's good for the muscles as well. And we're just going to start to move our fingers, looking to create a little bit of movement into each of the knuckles of the joints of the fingers. And see, can you bring your whole awareness, whether your eyes are open or closed, to the sensation of the movement of your fingers. Okay. I can only see some people's fingers, so I just have to trust you. We're going to start to move with the breath on the fingers now, opening the hands out as we breathe in and closing the hands as we breathe out. So working with the breath, inhaling and opening and exhaling and closing. And then the next time that the hands are open, when they come to a kind of half close, we're just going to start to circle the wrists and bring all of the awareness and attention into the movement in the wrists. You can keep that soft gaze on the hands or have the eyes closed. All right, notice the thoughts. Notice if your arms are getting tired and you're thinking, my arms are getting tired. See if you can just notice those things. Keep your awareness also on the wrists. Change the direction when you're ready. And you might be aware, if you're doing energy work, you might actually be aware of energy in the wrists and in the palm of the hands. Noticing sensation. From here, we're going to turn the hands over and open out the hands towards the ceiling, and then gently draw the hands back to touch the shoulders. So we're inhaling, opening, and we're exhaling, drawing the hands back to touch the shoulders. And we'll just continue with another few times. And see, can you notice now the elbow joints and connect that awareness from the elbows to the fingertips with your breath. Okay. Now, the next time that the fingers come back to touch the shoulders, we're just going to draw the elbows out to the side and start to circle the shoulder joints. And again, we can have that soft gaze, awareness to the elbows as they move on either side. So awareness, peripheral vision. Or we can have our eyes closed if you rather, and noticing the sensation in the shoulders as we move. In your own time, changing the direction and staying with that awareness of the movement. Notice any thoughts that come to interrupt you or to call you away. And then when you're ready and you finish the one you're on, releasing the hands down to the thighs. Close the eyes again if they're open and come back into that just sitting tall and just feeling the sensation now in the hands and fingers, wrists, elbows and shoulders. And notice any sensation in the body, any thoughts that arise. Okay, from here we're going to take both hands into prayer position at the heart center. And just if you have space around you, we're going to inhale, stretch up to the ceiling, and then circle the hands out and down to the sides. I'm hitting my windowsill. Inhaling, opening, big stretch up, and circling around to the sides. And again, just noticing any thoughts and sensations. You can have the eyes closed, or you can gently follow with your gaze, your hands as they move. Awareness to them as they move out of your range of vision and all the way around and down. And then the next time to the heart, they come back to the heart center, changing that direction, moving down and around. So you're gathering energy in and bringing it down through the center line, back down towards the heart and tummy. And then one more. This time, when you come back down to the heart center, just leaving the hands at the chest, at the thumbs are at the sternum, and bowing your chin towards your chest. And so feeling the length in the back of the neck, and just taking a moment here in this position, this mudra. And then in your own time, very gently drawing your head back to center. You can keep the eyes closed or open, whichever you prefer. We're just going to very gently circle the neck. So we can leave the hands in prayer position, or we can release them down if that feels more comfortable. We're just doing really simple, like drawing a circle on a fogged up mirror with your nose. So keeping the back of the neck nice and long, taking it nice and easy. Feeling the sensation now in the neck. Changing the direction, circling around in the other way. And then when you going to circle back around the next time, just coming back into that chin towards the chest. Again, one more time. If the eyes are closed, blinking them open here, becoming aware of the people in the Zoom room and your surroundings. We're going to inhale, stretch both hands up, one big stretch up to the sky, and then just releasing the hands and releasing any effort you're making. If you want to give the shoulders any roll or a little shake, anything that you like, that feels nice here. Very good. So we're going to move on to another meditation in a minute, but I just wanted to pause it here just to see how everyone's getting on. Elaine, to make sure you're okay. I know you came in late, you're kind of thrown in.
Yeah, sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh, good. Sorry now.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. You know, when you miss the centering, I always find it's harder to get settled, especially if you like. So just, you know, take it easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did everybody get on with that? Aoife?
It was really good. I really like the movement meditation, really nice. I never done that before.
Yeah, and I'm thinking for you, you know, to do, Aoife was saying like it's easy when you listen to somebody, you know, the YouTube ones and whatever, but trying to do it on your own is harder. So if we can make it easy as possible, and I think different people are going to find different ways in. I'm really kinesthetic. For me, the yoga is great. It helps me to meditate, and the movement is great. I'm going to show you another one of my favorite ones that I find really good at getting me in it if I'm, you know, a bit scatty or whatever. Yeah, but that movement one, and some days you'll do it and your mind will keep flying off on you, you know, but that's normal. And every time you realize that's happening, that's a practice. It's like training a wild horse, you know, if you run after it, you'll never catch it, but you just keep bringing it back gently. So that one, and the breathing as well, like focusing on the breath can be a really great way. The breath practice that we did there was one that I used as well with the pregnancy yoga. You might have recognized it, Jane, from the pregnancy yoga. The double the length of the exhale to the inhale is a really great way of kind of calming the nervous system. So it's a really good one for if you're busy in your head, stressy, kind of that feeling. But it can make you sleepy if you're already very relaxed. So if I did it before bedtime, I'd have no chance, you know. Yeah. How do you get on, Lorna?
I loved it. I loved the movement and how different I felt, because most of my meditation practices, I suppose it's not, I've never done it really with movement. And just how different my body felt. I wasn't aware of my fingers at all in the beginning, you know, when you said do the, is it the mudra?
Yeah.
I don't have the yoga language. And then at the end, I was like, oh my God, like I'm so aware of all my fingers.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, but you know, we light up our synapses when and our awareness is just magic, you know, isn't it? It's just like, I just think it's like magic. It's like what everybody wants, all the advertisers on Facebook and everything. They want our awareness. It's like, and then when we bring it in, it's like lights up our body. And in the yoga world, when they talk about the rotation of consciousness, it's not scanning. They don't think that your mind is going, oh, that's that. It's bringing energy into all of the different parts. So yeah, it's really cool. I find like that for people who find it hard to sort of just get into it, or some people find it hard to visualize, they get like they're too kind of to think that they have to be able to see it, and if they can't see it, you know, they don't get into the meditation. That the movement meditation can be a real simple, easy one to do. You know, even if they're not like levitating, they're doing what you've asked them to do, and they can focus on it. Very good. And Carmel, you good? You okay?
Yeah, it was lovely. I love the movement and meditation. It was nice.
Very good. Yeah, I'm really conscious that some of the yoga teachers might be like, yeah, we know this already. Because we do something like that, which we call a Palmatasana. It's called the joint releasing sequence, but it's also it's much more than that. It's like it's waking up the nadis and the energetic body, really. So it's just, yeah, it's great. Very good. Okay. And Quiva, you good? You're back, you're home, you're all good. Yeah, super. I'm going to move on to another meditation practice now. So we'll get comfy again. We're going to go into a different kind of type of one. If your house is noisy, this one is for you. Because it's antar, mouna, and it's based on sound. So get you to, if you do need to shift or move anything after being sitting quietly, so peaceful and still for so long, do, because then we're going to come back into our seat and find that comfy seat again for the second one. This one you could do it lying down, the danger being that you might fall asleep. But if you do want to lie down and you know you're not going to fall asleep, you're welcome to do that. Whatever position you're in, we want to make sure that the spine is long. Okay, so for this one, let's leave it's up to you. If you want to do the mudra, this chin mudra is supposed to be mudra for knowledge and wisdom. And we can have the palms up, which they say is for receiving, and the palms down is for grounding. So you can do that again if you like, or if you want to just have the hands relaxed on the lap, that's okay as well. And then we're going to take our time to get set up and close our eyes and settle in. Again, anybody who doesn't want to close their eyes is welcome to have that soft gaze down through, you know, past the tip of the nose. That's fine as well. And we're just going to take a moment to, again, notice our body on the chair. Notice our feet on the floor. Notice the weight of our legs. Notice our back nice and long. Notice our head. Notice the front body. Notice the heart space, the chest, and the tummy. And then make any adjustments that we need to feel comfortable and supported here, so that we can commit to stillness for the next few minutes. Take a moment again to notice the breath. And now taking the awareness to outside the body, see if you can notice any sounds that are around you. Sounds in your house, outside the room. And when you've had a moment or two to notice the sounds, see if you can just become aware of them without naming them. So it's as though your ears are like sponges or like a recording device. They're just noticing the sound without following the name or the association with the sound. And from here, we're going to just choose one sound. So choosing one sound from your environment and just bringing all of your awareness and focus to that sound. And then in your own time, releasing that sound and switching to another sound. See if you can choose another sound in your environment to completely focus all your awareness onto without any judgment or association, just like a sponge. Each sound comes from and returns to silence. In your own time, switching again for another sound. And if you have sounds that are in the foreground, see if you can now switch to the subtlest sounds. Can you bring the awareness to where you're receiving that sound? Sound comes in through the ear. Where are we receiving the sound? Then letting go of that awareness of that one particular sound, allowing yourself to become aware of the sounds in general and where you're receiving the sounds, the silence between the sounds, and the space beneath the sound. Bringing your awareness gently back to the sensation of your own breath in your body. You may be aware of your heart. And just taking the next couple of breaths to become aware of your body in your chair, allowing yourself to feel grounded with your feet on the floor, the length of your back, the gentle movement of your belly and chest as you breathe. I am here. And then we're going to slowly move fingers, maybe give the toes a wiggle. Giving yourself a moment or two, bowing the head to the chest. You can blink open your eyes, give yourself a stretch or a hug. And coming back into the space. How did you get on with that?
Oh, yeah. I could see how you could fall asleep quite easily.
But that's a good change from coming in at the start. So definitely something shifted there. No, it's much easier to stay in stillness. I find that one is like magic. When I start tuning in to the sound and the silence, it brings me very deep very quickly.
Yeah.
But for different people, different things work. So you're all super quiet now. Is that a good sign?
I had, where we live is really, really quiet. And I have nothing except the chicken clock. And it's ticking like, I don't even know where it is.
I
So when
have
you
a
were saying,
fly. My house is so
Totally.
quiet, and they're always usually noisy, and I'm telling them to shut up, and it was really quiet. The only thing I have is a fly, and then very distant something outside. I think it's the heating actually. Yeah, and it's so quiet. And then there's kind of I don't know if anybody else gets that when you listen really deeply. It's kind of a hum, like a little kind of a buzz or a
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But it was like, because I was able to not think. I did have a thought of, oh, how can there be no other sound? And you were saying, go to another sound. I was like, okay, we'll just stay with the clock. Stay with the clock. Yeah, I would have fallen asleep if you'd gone on for another 5 minutes.
Wow.
My head was starting to really feel very heavy. It was lovely.
That's great. Like you're also calm. Yeah, and I've done this like in Dublin City. Like where we were in Grafton Street, above Grafton Street, the studio was where I was doing the meditation when I was learning to be a meditation teacher and doing that kind of meditation. There would be loads of sounds, like loads of noise, and even like sirens in the distance and cars and stuff coming in and out. And I just thought it's lovely to have something that you can use in a busy place where instead of trying to make everyone be quiet, you can't. Like the world is going to be the way it is. Yeah, it's a nice one. So and that's part of a sequence of meditations, antar, mouna. And the one on sounds I find is it's a really nice way in. So we'll do one that's sort of a similar idea, but it's on thoughts. Yeah, the tricky mind. So I hope that your mind will be just as quiet, Lauren, and you'll be like, I'll just sit here. I don't have anything.
What did you say it's called?
Antar, mouna. And I'm going to check it in your thing. Oh, I emailed you the meditation on the mountain one today because I nearly forgot about that. And then when I was checking my plan, I was like, I don't think I sent it to them. Did I put antar, mouna? It is
that
antar, mouna here, yeah.
Okay.
It's at the back of the manual on page 60 on my manual. That might be page 58 for you. I think I have an old version. Anyway, we'll come back to it. We'll come back to looking at it. Yeah, but it's lovely. It's so, so nice. And the other thing you can do, of course, is you guys can't hear this, can you? Can you hear it? That's crazy. Like it's for me, it's really loud. Like it's lovely. You could, I think it's the way they've done Zoom, so they mute background noise so it doesn't disturb people. But you could have like your singing bowl or something like that, and use that to get people into the sound as well. That can be really nice. Let's do a little bit of chanting. For what? Yeah, well, we're on to the sound. So if I was doing my own class, you know, if we were doing a meditation class, might be an hour long. So we'd have little chats in between, and maybe I always like to give people things to work on at home if they want to. And then we might break the meditations into 3 sections. So like a centering, and then another meditation, and then generally close with a meditation as well. And so, as this is the sample class, we should close with a meditation. Yeah, before break time. Is everybody okay? We can have questions and answers after anyway. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to close with a meditation with a little bit of chanting. And what we'll do is I'll put everyone on mute, because if I don't and you chant, it's beautiful in a group, you know, in a room where the vibration, the voices come together. But on Zoom, it picks in and out, you know, and sometimes the sound can go a bit warped if everyone's chanting. So I know I'm mortified the first time I did it, but you'll only hear me and yourself. And we're going to keep the simplest chant of all, the mantra Om. And so what we'll do is we're going to chant it with a real sense of like breathing a real deep breath into the tummy and chanting it from the tummy and all the way out. We'll do 3 rounds of like a fairly kind of audible, loud Om. And then we'll move into a quieter version, and then a quieter version, and then a whisper. And then we'll do like a silent mantra. So we're still saying in our head, but we're not chanting it out loud at all. Is that okay? If anybody doesn't want to chant, that's okay. But just know that like it doesn't matter your voice. It's, you know, it's not about having the beautiful voice or anything. It's just really for creating that vibration. So yeah, give it a go. All right, getting comfy again. Take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out, and then we're going to begin. So breath in. letting go of the mantra and just resting in the silence for a moment. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Take your time, bowing the chin to the chest, bringing the hands together and rubbing them to create that lovely warm space. You can bathe the eyes in the warmth of your hands. I have to move the glasses. And then gently opening your eyes into the dark space. Take a moment, blink yourself back, and then releasing in your own time. And giving yourself any kind of stretch or a hug and saying something nice to yourself. Awareness is magic, so noticing the good things about you. Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much. How did you get on with that? I'm actually going to stop the recording now. We don't need it. So just for anyone watching the recording, the task is to do a reconstruction on the lesson that we just did. So go back through the class that you just done, the lovely meditation class, and go, how was that like? How would that look like if I wrote it down? Now I'm going to see what they're all up to. The breakout room. Okay, so we were talking about the lesson plan. I'm going to ask Elaine's group to go first and to give us the starting of the class, what you've got.
Okay. We have, that's our group, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have the kind of check-in and centering at the start. Like kind of getting into your seat, making sure you're comfortable. Doing a body scan, and then the breath and pranayama.
Yeah. Now, extra points. What pranayama?
Like the name of it?
Yeah, or describe it. You don't have to give a technical.
The
Okay,
exhale was twice the length of the inhale by the time you'd built it up.
Yeah, because
to
we
that.
did a couple of different
No,
pranayama. Yeah, we did. First one we did was awareness and counting. Just count your breath yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
So you're breathing in, you're counting as the breath comes in, you're breathing out, you're counting as the breath goes out. I've been in classes where teachers have counted the breath for me. And I remember like one class where I was doing it and there was breath retention, you know, when you hold your breath in between. And it was so hard because it was such a long breath retention and it was really like difficult for me. And now I know that for me, I could count longer than for somebody else. So if you get people counting their natural breath, it gives them a baseline to work off. It's not like, sometimes it's lovely for a teacher to count and you just follow the teacher and you don't have to think about it. But if you count yourself, you're going to match your own natural breath, and you're also starting to learn to kind of take responsibility, but like autonomy, like control of, I can do this myself, like I can count my own breath, and I'm starting to train my brain to concentrate on what I'm doing. Do you know? So if you do hope that your students will be able to do a bit of meditation on their own at some point, getting them to count their own breath is really good for that as well. So building up that sort of skill. So we start with that, and then you're right, Lorna. We start to extend the exhale and extend the exhale and extend the exhale, with the idea of getting the exhale twice as long as the inhale. And that is whenever we exhale slowly, the slower our exhale, it sends messages to the heart muscle to say, you know, everything's fine. Slow exhale is a resting breath, and then the blood pressure and the heart rate actually slow when we slow our exhale. It brings us into the parasympathetic nervous system, so that rest and relax nervous system. So it's a really great breath for you just had a row with somebody and you need to calm yourself and you're feeling really stressed and, you know, cross or whatever, you're really, anything that's caused you to kind of have like anxiety or you know, higher heartbeat or higher your blood pressure, having that slow and counting, it gives your mind something to do, and it slows your breath, and it kind of biohacks your body into saying, no, everything is fine, I'm okay. I think we mentioned it in the class, but if you have people who are really, really tired, so if you had like people really late at night doing it, people who are just prone to kind of falling asleep in your meditation, it's probably not the best breath practice. Yeah, because it's really relaxing. And if you were to go on and on with it, and they're counting themselves, and they've just slowed their exhale, they're gone. So we can change, we can do different pranayama for that. That's more about balancing and things like that. But for today, we was kind of centering, a lot of centering. And then we moved on to another pranayama. So we did that counting and the double the exhale. This also, when we use that with real control, we can use it to control panic attacks. So today was very gentle, exhale, count the exhale. But if you were to really fiercely like exhale to, you know, 6 or 7 or 8, we use that for if feeling like a panic attack, taking control back over the nervous system. So it can be quite, you know, we did it very gently, like relaxed way, but we can do it in a kind of a way to control our breath and to bring us into calm. So it's a really useful tool for anybody dealing with stress and anxiety. It's a really useful one. Well, we did another one though after that, and maybe we'll ask the other team. What did you guys, do you remember the next one after that? The next pranayama?
Was it the yogic breath?
So before the yogic breath, when you say the yogic breath, you mean the complete breath, Carmel, is it? Yeah. So we didn't do that all in one go. Do you remember what we started with?
Oh yeah,
Like bit by bit, like belly,
belly, chest,
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to the rib,
and up to the
throat.
ribs. Yeah.
The diaphragmatic breath, the belly breath, when we move our diaphragm down, like that's another really relaxing breath and really centering breath. It's also like when we move our diaphragm up and down, our internal organs are sliding over each other. It's really good for our internal organs. It's again calming the nervous system, and we get more oxygen into our system with this diaphragmatic breath because we tend to stand or sit, and there's more blood at the bottom, at the kind of base of the lungs. So there's this bigger gaseous exchange, and it's some shocking number, like 80% of people don't use, you know, diaphragmatic breath. They're breathing into only a tiny capacity of their lungs rather than the full capacity. So teaching people to breathe really deeply and use the belly breath. As kids, children will do it. As we get older, we tend to start to breathe more shallow breaths. So training people, especially if you're going to go and do, which we are going to try, other pranayama practices, training people first to do a nice long natural breath. Often that extended exhale, that one that we did before, when you breathe out really slow, you start to breathe in fuller anyway. And because you're breathing out really slow each time and breathing in for a shorter time, you tend to start to use more of your lungs. So it's hoping that that will happen. And then when we go to do the belly breath, it's that bit easier for people. We'll do it again lying down as well. It's another way to make it a bit easier, is to change the position of the body and get more into the belly. Then we did the rib cage. So we had the option of just doing the belly and rib cage and exhaling from the belly and rib cage, or doing it with the pause, you know, breathe in, pause, breathe in again. That was for the yoga people. Like, I thought they've done this before, they can do it with the pause. So when you're doing it with the pauses, each part, that's called sectional breathing. Okay, so you're breathing in and pause, and breathing in and pause, and breathing in and pause, and exhaling, pause, exhale, pause, exhale, pause. Sectional, because you're doing the different sections. Super. And then, of course, we put it all together at the end, which is what you guys said, that complete breath. Anybody tell me, why do we breathe into the tummy first and then all the way up, and out from the tummy first and then all the way out?
The diaphragm lowers as you breathe in. It's like it's a dome. So is that why?
Yeah, so we're starting with the
So
bottom.
expand the bottom part of the lungs first.
Yeah, fill in the bottom first. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Why does that make a difference though? Just try it. Sit up tall and then breathe into the chest first, and then the middle, and then the belly. And then try the other way around, breathe into the belly and then the middle and then the chest.
Yeah, it's so much more limited when you start at the chest.
Yeah, you've less space
It's like
there,
there's
don't you?
more resistance. There's more resistance if you try to do the chest first. It just doesn't seem to
Yeah, you've less space.
work.
And if you breathe into the tummy, most people, the tendency is to kind of hunch, breathe into the tummy first. Then it's like you're opening it up the front of your body as you go as well. And then as we exhale, if we exhale from the pelvic floor up and we lift our pelvic floor, our diaphragm lifts, we're toning and lifting our body. So we're not, if we're exhaling from the top first, we could be rolling back down again, you know. But when we breathe in to the bottom and out from the bottom, we tend to help us with our posture as well. So it's a gentle kind of tone and lift. As the diaphragm moves up, the pelvic floor moves up as well. So we're getting that little bit more support in the body. So, you know, your toned pelvic floor and toned diaphragm, it's lifting from the inside. It's the gentle core. Yeah. Super duper. Very good. We're still only in the first 20 minutes of the class. Sorry, guys. We go over to Quiva's group. What do we have after the pranayama?
Breath, the moving the joints, I think, where we started with the fingers, moving them gently, and the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the neck, and then the arms, both directions,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
Bit of movement. I think that's right. We have to look for the recording. Yeah, no, I don't think we've forgotten anything there. Yes, we went from the pranayama into that. We did that with the breath as well. Yeah.
Yeah, with the breath.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd forgotten about the yogic breath. We had the other two breaths written down, but we'd forgotten about the other one already. It was so relaxing, we forgot everything.
That's nice. Well, I totally enjoy it and pretend to be the student, so that's good. I didn't want you to be sitting there going, "Will I remember this later?" Very good.
Sure.
Yeah, we did. We went through the body and did the movement, and then can you remember after that?
The sound.
Sound? Yeah.
So before we went on to do the sound,
Check in.
It was like the check-in, yeah.
yeah, we had a check-in, and you guys told me, oh no, it was after the sound one that you would have fallen asleep if I didn't. So important is to have a look around. How's everybody getting on? Are they kind of settled into it? Are they? And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes somebody looks like they're really cross, but they're actually concentrating, or somebody's moving, but they're actually really in it, but they're not really aware that they're moving. But often you can tell by looking at people's body language, like whether they're enjoying it and following it, or whether they're kind of finding it difficult to stay in it, either because they're kind of twitchy or because they're like starting to nod off. But I generally try and break it up rather than do a whole hour, you know, like go the whole time, just to give people a chance that if they aren't comfortable and they're sitting there to be polite, you know, that they need to get a blanket and they're cold, or they want to drink water, or they're falling asleep, that they have that little break, and you can see how it's landing for people. You don't always have to go around everybody, because sometimes that can take ages, and sometimes people can start telling you loads and you're like conscious of the time. Do you know, if you've got someone who's real, like had a great time and they just want to chat and tell you everything. So yeah, you don't have to go around everybody, but it's nice to check in. And then after that we did the sound. So when you say we did the sound, what does that mean? Who hasn't told me anything? Huh?
Antar mouna, wasn't it? It was the pick a sound. That was that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, go on, Elaine, tell me, what was the antar mouna? What did you do? Do you remember?
The sound meditation, so you have to concentrate on one sound at a time. So, another sound. Is that right?
Yeah. One sound
Yeah.
at a time. Yeah. And then the important thing with that as well is that we're not trying to identify the sound. So if you're sitting somewhere and there were cars going past outside, you're not going, that sounds like my mom's car, or you know, that's a Porsche, or that must be a tractor, or I wonder where he's going. That you're just hearing the sound without association. So looking to just listen, like your ears just a sponge without actually, so you're hearing rather than listening. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then we talked about as well, where do you hear the sound? So not just being aware of the sound itself, like which draws your awareness outside, but like being aware of where am I hearing this? I don't know if you got that, like that sort of sense that it's not just your ear, it's not the outside, your outer ear that you hear the sound in. It's traveling down through the membranes and in, and then it's being received by the nerves and like made sense of in your brain. So where you're hearing the sound is much deeper than if you're just listening on the outside. Yeah, and then the kind of really important part of that meditation is actually not the sounds at all. What? Yeah. What's the important part?
Awareness of it. Yeah?
Awareness, yeah.
Where it's entering, like where
bringing
you
it
feel
in,
enter-
yeah.
bringing it in.
And each sound comes from and returns to.
Is it the silence? The silence between the sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, so silence between the sounds is really important, because you know, we talked before, like what is meditation? We're talking about different types of meditation, and the idea of training your mind and like changing your awareness and being aware, and some meditations is about like clearing your mind. But if I said clear your mind of all the sounds, just listen to the silence, you'd be like, what? You'd suddenly hear that clock ticking, like, shut up, clock. Where we say, okay, listen to all the sounds. Now what's in between the sounds? What's behind the sounds? And even if it's that just like background, what I feel like it's like the background, the sound of the universe or whatever, that gentle there's like a background, there's something that's always there. So when I say a word and you receive the vibration of my sounds in between the words, those pauses, that's like, and then the more we lengthen those pauses, or we find that we can hear the pause, we can hear the silence as well as the sound, then we're tuning in to that silence. We're coming into that space, into the pause, which is bringing us really deep into the meditation, which is why I think we get so like zened out from that one. All right. So that was Santa Mona, and that was like, for me, that was the work of the class done. Like, so if I have a kind of a big meditation or something that's like going to go deep, or if I'm doing chakras and I want to focus on one chakra, like that'll be my kind of middle meditation. So everything at the start is getting everybody centered and ready to go. Then one meditation, that's kind of the like kind of the big part of it. And then afterwards, maybe feedback at a chat and checking in, or if I have anything I want to talk to them about, and then our closing meditation. And tonight we did the mantra Om, which we will come back to and talk about more. But we did mantra. It kind of fits nicely with sound, and it's also to give you another way in. You know, with different types of learners, like the people who like to move, the people who like to learn by listening or watching, who's more visual, who's more, you know, auditory. And different things are going to work for different people and at different stages, you know. So it's good to have a toolbox. Yeah. So the mantra Om is a really, really simple mantra. And if you like mantra, there's loads of mantras. And with the idea with the mantra Om, we also did the same kind of thing. If you noticed, we started with loud, like it was just like, I'm hearing Om and I'm trying to figure out how to chant it, and there's something to do. And then we got quieter and quieter and quieter until we got to the silent part, where we're like, still have that silent mantra in our going in our head. And I don't know if you noticed, but I often find when I stop, it keeps going anyway. I can still hear it, like yeah. So, and that's supposed to be the most powerful mantra, and all the mantras have meaning, you know, and it's a lovely one. And I find chanting is a great way when I'm really struggling with meditation. If I can't just, often my meditation practice sit and a quick scan of how I'm getting on, physical and energy body, and just sit and just let myself be. But if I'm finding that there's too much going on, I'll either move and do some yoga, or I'll chant as a way to get into it. Like, so there you go. So if you're doing your own meditation at home, which a lot of you said like this, they want to do it, you want to do it, those are the ones to give it a go. And don't think it has to be long time. As I was saying earlier to somebody there, Eve, I think it was like 1 minute of meditation is going to make a difference. So 1 minute makes a difference. Like 10 minutes is super. It might take you 10 minutes to just get your ass into the place where you want to be and sit down and look at the floor and mooch about. Do your 1 minute and then leave it. Yeah, actually I have to look. There's 1 minute meditation online that I can send you, and it's so short, and it's really nice. But set yourself up for success. You know, like if you were your own student, you'd want yourself to go away feeling good. Because if you feel good about it and you're hitting it and you're like, yes, I can do this, you're much more likely to want to come back and do it, instead of, oh man, I don't want to sit there. The last time I sat there, I just gave out to myself for like 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm laughing, but that's how I started. I know it's dreadful. Nobody'd want to be meditating with me when I was like that. Shut up and sit down. All right.
I'm terrible for leaving it till the end of the day. Like, I think you said this before, Claire. If you can, like, not that you have to, but if you can try and do it at the start in the morning, because you put it off. So then I might try it at nighttime, before I go to bed, or I'm in bed and sure, I'm fast asleep. Like, I wouldn't get to the end of a yoga nidra. I'd be snoring. So yeah, just conscious of that as well for myself.
Yeah, that's it. And if you think about it, if you have to set your alarm to get up an hour early, these kind of crazy things, you'll do that once or twice and you're really enthusiastic and you're so tired then. So I'm saying to you, like, if you know your morning timetable, if you could do 10 minutes earlier, and if you got like 1 minute, between 1 to 5 minutes of meditation into that 10 minutes, you'd be still on a winner, like, do you know?
Yeah.
And then the day that you don't worry about it. My goal is always like that I do 5 days out of 7, and I generally do 6 days out of 7, and I have a sleep in. If I'm not working at the weekend, I'll have a sleep in on Sunday. And if I am, I'll try and have I'll have a morning where I don't worry if I don't do it, during the week. But then usually like I'm like this Monday I didn't, because I was working all weekend and whatever. And then I was grumpy and cranky at breakfast, and I was just like, you'd just be so much happier if you just done it. So all right. I want to make sure you get a bit of a chance to practice, and I also want to talk about the projects. And I was asking people, and I was like, do you think you could teach that? And you were like, yeah, no problem. So we're not going to have time to teach the whole lot of it. I know we've done an awful lot of like getting people settled in the chairs and centered in the body scan bit, so I don't think you need to teach that. Okay. So I'm thinking, pick another bit. Don't pick the hardest thing unless you really want to. Pick something that you're like, oh, that's a bit new, and I'll give it a go. And don't worry if you don't get it all perfect. Yeah. If you're doing like the movement one, we're moving basically through the body. So we're starting with fingers, hands, wrists, elbows, shoulder. So following the joints. Yeah. And then we're doing the shoulders before we do the neck, because often you'll see people coming in and they're tight here. So if we start to try and do movements with our neck, it's tighter. Whereas with the shoulders relaxed first and then we move our neck, it's nicer. And the only thing I'll say to you is, the circles, we're doing like what you call like a clock face or a drawing. We can do side stretches, but we're not doing. Okay, we want to keep the back of the neck long. All right. Yeah. If you want to do antar mouna, I would use the script or the notes there to help you. Yeah. So you can do your movement one, you can do your antar mouna. If you're feeling like chanting, sing your heart out, no problem. And I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, but I'm actually going to put you into pairs this time, just to give you a bit more time and less people to have to worry about. Is that all right? If anyone loses their pair, come back into me, or I'll keep an eye anyway, but just in case any of the Yeah, and come back in. If you do get kicked out, come back in. I'm gonna make Karma the co-host just in case. Actually, she's the worst network. Why am I making her? Make Aoife the co-host just in case. Yeah. Just in case. Yeah, if you get lost, come back in and I'll put you in the main room instead of the breakout room if anybody, gets kicked out. All right. You all good? Ready to go?
Yeah.
So, projects. I'm gonna get my pen. My pen, it's a crayon. I'm gonna get my crayon. Tell me, has anybody decided what they're gonna do?
I've been reading a book. Sorry, you go ahead.
Go on. No, go on, Peter.
You know the book, the Yoga Ninja book, the guy, I can't say his name. Swami.
Satyananda Saraswati.
Yeah.
The blue book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
I
I was
have
telling you
that
about,
book,
Lorna. Yeah.
Yeah. But I haven't started that yet because I've been reading the prana and pranayama. It's the same
Yeah.
guy. So I'm thinking maybe on that, the pranayama, I think because I'm finding that really interesting, you know?
Cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
put you down to do that then. Everybody, we'd love to hear about pranayama and prana.
Well, because I'm reading it at the moment well, I am finding it interesting. I was also taking the reading as part of my self-care because I never really read, and it's really nice learning all this, even a chapter,
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I started to go back to the library
Yeah.
and just like novels, like not even. I have my Atomic Habits, but then I have a novel as well, like something just.
On the go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I just came into my head when you were talking about earlier. I was thinking maybe
Explore
that's what I'll
that.
do.
Go with that for now and see as well pranayama and how does it work with meditation for you.
Meditation.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
great. I'm going to put you down for that, and we'll stay with that for now and see how you go.
Yeah.
That's a great topic. Lorna, you have an idea as well, do you?
I do. So I've been asked I've asked a group and they've agreed. And it's a 12-step recovery group, and the 11th of the 12 steps is meditation. It includes meditation. So something around meditation and addiction and the benefits and
That's very exciting. I'm getting tingles. That's really great. Yeah, meditation and addiction and the benefits. Yeah, and how does it help?
And why it's even in there in the first place. Do you know what I mean? That it got included, like it's actually named in the 12 steps, as one of the parts of the process of recovery. So
that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so interesting. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like, I don't know, but since I started doing yoga and meditation, like I read a book about creativity and I think it's about yoga, and I read a book about Atomic Habits and I'm like, this is meditation. It's funny, isn't it? Like you find it everywhere then.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really interesting. That'd be great. And anybody, if you guys, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking maybe doing, if you go.
No, go on, Lane, go on.
I'm thinking possibly doing something around teenagers, like meditation, the benefit of meditation for teenagers. I don't know if it needs to be more specific or
what I would say is start with something broad like that, and as you get into it, you'll decide the bit that you like, or that's most interesting. I think you'll have to look when you're starting to look at like meditation for teenagers, look at what would work for teenagers, because you know how hard it is for us as adults to sit quietly and try and still our mind. It can be challenging. So figure out as well what would be the ones that are going to benefit the most. There's a lot going on, like yeah, super. Was that what you were going to do, Aoife?
She stole it.
You told me in the breakout room she was going to do it, so I just
she got there first. Claire, I was thinking of doing a meditation on the parasympathetic nervous system, like the effect that it has.
Yeah. So that would go paired with the sympathetic, so yeah, but yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it might change kind of as I get into it, as I look up, because I looked up a few things already. So it might go slightly in a different direction or another something else, but
So
that's generally what I'm thinking
starting
at the
off from
moment.
that, yeah, meditation in the nervous system. No, that sounds great, fantastic. And then Carol.
I'm not 100%, but I was going to do something around meditation and women's health because I read this book recently called It's Probably Your Hormones. And she was Dr. Mary Ryan, and she kept on about hammering home about the importance of rest and how stress affects hormones and it affects all stages of like a woman's life. Do you know what I mean? Like menstruation, perimenopause, all of that. Yeah, so I might do something around. I just thought, God, it's a bit vague. It's women's
No,
health.
no, it's like, yeah, no, we need like health is just men's health. Like all the
Yeah.
drugs that are trials and everything are on men. I just get into a
Mm.
huge feminist rant now. It's very general and big, but
Mm.
it's not like it's a totally valid and really good topic. And I'm sure like them is as you go into it, you'll be like, I'm into this bit, because you're taking on if you're talking about hormones, you're taking on the endocrine system, which is gonna
Yeah.
overlap with Aoife's nervous system stuff. Like you'll see overlaps and things. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, go for it. Like, because I want this to be kind of like a green light for you to go to your family. I'll have to read this book for my project, like, and just do what you like. Yeah.
And it's something that's kind of drawn me a bit because I've actually a book, a yoga for women book, and then I have a medicine. So I feel like I might do something, or else I'll pick a meditation teacher and do that instead. I'm just not 100% yet.
Okay. I'm going to give you like a deadline. This is from love, yeah, to tell me before next week. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will do.
Okay. Because
I
otherwise
have to
you'll do
go.
both. Huh?
I have to go. Sorry, now I'm going to miss the last
Oh,
meditation.
that's okay.
I'll do one in bed.
Yeah,
I'm sick and I stay away.
very
Thanks
good.
a million. It's
No
fabulous.
problem. We're
Talk to you
nearly
next
finished
week.
anyway. See you,
Thanks.
Lorna, and the rest of us, we're just going to all settle for the last few minutes.
I'm going to have to go as well, so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I will see you next week. Thanks a million.
Okay.
Bye.
Now, so we're going to settle into a nice seat again at your choice. You can come into lying down if you want for this. We don't have a lot of time, but yeah, whatever feels nice to sit and settle. And then take your time to let's see if we can bring everything back. So feeling the feet on the ground, rooted and grounded. Feeling the legs, the weight of the legs. Feeling the sit bones on the chair. The length of the back. The length of the front body, the heart lifting. The back of the neck. Top of the head. Feeling the eyelids touch. Feeling the jaw. Letting yourself come into your breath now. Bringing into your awareness the heart space, the center of the chest. And in this space, just taking a moment to remember your one thing. And then letting go of any of the stuff you don't need to remember for now, even if it's just for now. And taking in the nicest, deepest breath that you can. And as you breathe out, release. Gently draw the chin to the chest. And blink open your eyes. Stretch the hands up to the sky and then bringing them down to the heart center. Lots of love. thanking yourself and everyone for the evening tonight. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great week.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
next week, Claire. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.